One thing that made me relax and accept the situation was me telling myself that no matter what I do, this person is never ever coming back. So acceptance.
Yeah.
Acceptance is the one thing that can at least relieve you of that guilt and like give you hope for life.
You're listening to the Whisper It Loud podcast. Hi everyone, my name is Wamuyu from Kenya and you're listening to the Whisper It Loud podcast. Okay, that's a new intro.
What a psych.
I know. I'm so excited actually because we're actually in episode 5. Imagine.
Wow.
I know.
Proud of you.
Oh my God, my baby is growing. Yes. So we're in episode 5 and today's conversation is going to be about the wholeness of life. And I am so excited. Of course, we have our guest.
Returning guest.
Let me tell you, the video you did, sees. Everyone is just talking about it.
It's good to be back and it's good to have. It's an honor for me to be here once again.
Yeah. So how's your week, by the way, before we get to start into the deep conversation about it? How's been your week?
My week has been okay. Nimeanza kufanya interesting things. I started to do interesting things.
Oh yeah, but you told me you were driving. You're starting driving classes.
Yeah, I started doing that. Finally, I'm over the fear of being behind the wheel because it's always been challenging for me. I've been scared. That's why I've never done it. So now finally doing it and I'm so excited.
I know.
Overall, that's the highlight of my week, really.
Yeah, you're into fitness.
Yeah, I'm into
already but anyway,
you know what? It's over. It's over for you. That's all I can say. It's over for you guys. Yeah. It's over for you all.
I can't wait to go back into to gym and everything. I feel like things have been going.
I don't know why you're stressing, girl. You have the perfect body. Me, if I get thick thighs, it's over. It's over for everybody.
Until uzipata ndio utakuwa unaongelea.
Nataka kuzipata.
Nini?
Haina shida. We will go on with the gym and everything. So yeah.
Okay. Sawa basi. So how's been my week? Hata uniulizi.
How has your week
been?
Hatuko tumemaliza.
Sawa basi.
How was your week, darling? How's your week been? Just get by.
Okay, my week has been okay. I think this week has been more about in regards to family because my brother was going back to school. Then I am doing a master class.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's that. Oh, and of course we are shooting this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Excited about it. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's get into the topic. What do you think? So the wholeness of life. In this statement for me, it was more about like in regards to life and loss, in the sense that we never get to talk about how loss gets to affect us and how close it is in our lives, and in the sense that losing somebody dear, knowing that you'll never talk to them, or like what was the last things you talk about before they left. Yeah. You know, and how that impacts in your daily life situations and how you move on with life and accepting that, you know, you're grieving, but then everything else is moving for other people. But where you're in a situation where you're feeling like I'm in a stagnant situation. Yeah. Have you ever experienced that kind of loss, like very close to you?
Yes. For a minute I have, because to be honest, I think God really loves me, and I had not experienced like an immediate family loss like for a very long time, up to when I was like 23, because it was during COVID time. I think, right?
Yeah.
It was during COVID time. It was when I just found out I was pregnant. So of course, aside from me dealing with this grief that I'm about to talk about, I was dealing with having a child and figuring out how I'm going to take care of this child by myself. So it was a lot.
I feel like you are experiencing a lot of loss. There's the loss of a partner who you thought you're going to be with. There's a new change in regards to you're pregnant.
Yeah.
There's
a loss of me being a girl.
I'm a mom now. Loss has happened into your life, which is very close.
Yes. It was quite difficult, I would say, because you see, I've never experienced such a loss before, and it was not something that you're prepared for. Let me say, it's very wrong of me to assume, but I assume if maybe this person was unwell, you're sort of kind of prepared. Like if
there's some leeway in regards to how you process it, because you're like, okay,
at least they're resting, at least they're not in pain anymore, compared to when it's just someone who's live and fit, and then one moment you're just being told, oh my God, so and so is no more, something happened, an accident happened, or even suicide, like, this is banana trigger. Because
these are things that are so close, especially like things like depression, and then people succumb to suicide. Actually, do you see that thing, the guy from Pwani who burnt himself alive?
No.
Yeah.
Like he lit a match and he burnt himself.
Alijimwagilia kerosene ama ni sijui kama ni petrol ama kerosene, akajimwagilia
akawasha match
akajinini.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you can imagine what kind of depression was this person going through in order to choose such a painful death.
Because hata heri wa kujirusha. By the time unafika chini umepass out, then you go ama wa kujinyonga. But kujichoma.
Alafu I think Ali survive. I'm not sure if
oh my God, hata heri wende tu.
You can imagine the degree of the burn.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Fuck.
Well, life is different.
So, in regards to the loss, who was this person to you? And tell us the journey that you guys had, the kind of relationship you guys had, in order for now, the loss part of it.
So this person was a very good friend, and apart from being a friend, it was these people that you call in the middle of the night. You're like, oh my God, I'm here, maybe I'm in an Uber, I feel unsafe. They're like, what? Just make the next stop to a safe destination, I'm coming to get you.
Damn, babe.
Exactly.
But such people,
I'd be like, oh my God, I'm in an Uber and I feel like this driver is just so reckless and my life, I'm not comfortable. And he's like, the next petrol station you see, just tell him to end the trip hapo. I'm coming to pick you up, send me the location.
Those friends we have such.
The ones
you can call in the middle of the night and you're like, this and this has happened, come and pick me up.
And they're like, I'm coming through.
I'm coming. I'm like, you're crying and everything. They're like, where are you? I'm coming. I feel like you're not okay.
Yeah. Because, in this life, there's so many things, us suppressing things and not wanting to do quick, So maybe you act a certain way or you put up a certain face around people.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, maybe you're feeling sad. You're like, oh my God. So maybe you can get mild depression, and not everyone you can talk to. So there are times you get those panic attacks, you're crying, you're breaking down, and there's these people who will always show up for you.
I never got a panic attack until I experienced one of my breakups.
Yeah.
Until I experienced a panic attack, and I didn't even know that was a panic attack. Until I told my friend what exactly had happened. I'm crossing a road, and then I can't breathe. I can't move. And I was like, hot. And I'm like,
and you want to cry. I know. Yeah.
So when I told my friend this, I can be, where?
Danger.
Mapenzi isikuwe. Isikuwe.
But it happens. Yeah. And I hate that at this point people have not normalized that.
Yeah.
So there are some things you can't talk about, because one thing about relationships, I would say, is maybe if you're in a toxic place and you're talking to people about it, inafikanga point watu wanachoka, because umewaambia ni mimi na nani, we're done, we're never going back together.
The next one about to chukula conversation iko Nairobi side.
You know it. We're not going to mention it, but you know it. You took sides.
Kenya tulikuwa side moja and
uko hii side, uko huyu ndo toxic, it's the huyo ndo the drama. Hata ndo anafanya huyo mwingine aendelee. Then small they're back together. Even if anything happens and it's actually very very bad, this babe cannot talk about it.
Let me tell you something. Mambo ya watu wawili.
Wamejifunika.
Blanketi moja.
Wacha.
Usingilie. Please don't.
Mimi, I made that pact last year. I think last year kianza, because a couple tu ingine tu kama hii yenye we are thinking about juu hatutawataja. Walikuwa done. Yani wako done, wamesema this one has talked smack about the other. This one has also talked smack about the other. Small. Ati nisipomrudia nani angemrudia. Me I'm just like
That's a new one.
Me I was done. Me I'm saying sasa whatever people are going through, please let them go through it alone. Silently. Me hata sitaki kusikia. I don't want to hear it. Please, mind my own. Maneno watu wawili wameonana uchi, please just stay away, because watarudiana pillow talk. Imagine hata nani alikuwa ananiambia,
and let me tell you, they'll gang against you. You are the bad person. You're
the one. Na sasa ni how wa toxic. Yani it's just difficult. Hata tumepoteza trail of thought. So
we were talking about your friend.
So we're talking about my friend and how like you pile up things, that you're going through things, because you can't talk about everything with people because already you feel like what I could judge. Because I'm sure if maybe I'm going through a relationship or anything and nimekuongelesha about it for so long, like ikifika point that I want to talk about it again, I'll feel some type of way. Because sometimes what our friends wanakuanga like, why sasa mi hata usiniambie, whatever you decide, go with it, because me, I'm tired. Like we've talked about this for so long. Seriously, what do you want with your life?
That's so true.
So aside from actual things that go on in your life, like work, because if it's loss and grief, even losing a job is something. You were banking on this job, you did not see yourself, maybe you think this is the best career you will ever have. Wow. Then kidogo you're told, I'm sorry, we cannot have you anymore. That's still something that
actually
bothers you.
I was listening to a podcast by Sharon, and she was saying that actually it's related, I promise, where she was talking about, she thought she had the best job. Actually, she was working for Google.
Yeah.
You heard about it?
Okay, no. But
she was working for Google, and then just like that,
unaambiwa sorry, you're not the one quitting. Heri wewe ndio quit because you feel like this job is not the one for you. But when you feel like this is my job, this is the one I want to retire with, I love this job, I'm enjoying the pay, I'm enjoying my work, and if it just happens that you're told, sis, Aki, I'm sorry, we just hata hatuna reason, tumekutafutia tujapata, but you just feel like we need to let you go for our company to grow, it hurts to some extent, And also that's loss, because first of all, unajua unakanga chini, unajiuliza naanzia wapi. This is your dream job, this is the height according to you of your career.
That's so
you're like, natoka hapa naenda, if I go back narudi nyuma, if I go like naenda wapi, hata wewe ukifikiria Google unaenda wapi after that,
I get that. So okay, I want us to talk about the loss in regards to your friend.
Okay.
And how it affected you, because that's something I've been wanting to talk about, because people experience a lot of loss, despite there are so many levels of loss. There's loss of friendship, there's loss of job, there's loss of a relationship that you have been able to acquire over time. There's the loss of a relationship, even with your own parents.
With parents,
there's so much loss that occurs, but in this situation, I wanted like the loss of life, where you'll never talk about this person. You'll never get to see this person again. It's only just the memories and, the what ifs and what ifs.
Yeah. So this one time I was just sitting around, I'm minding my business. So actually, here's the thing. Me and this particular friend, let's call him the Sun. Yeah, let's call him the Sun.
I feel like that's like...
Oh, Coca-Cola!
Yeah, cheers, babe.
So me and Coca-Cola were actually very, very good friends. I think he'd show up for me more than I'd show up for him, because first of all, niko na pesa gani? Niko na pesa gani? So he'd show up for me more than I'd show up for him. So I'd say this was someone who was putting in, like you see, giving more than receiving.
There's a lot of effort on his side.
Yeah. So, but we were very good friends. Of course, I was also very intentional. I'd check up once in a while, I'd show up where I need to, such things.
Yeah.
So this one time, I think I had a baby. At the time, like I've said, I was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
And before we had a conversation, like 2 weeks before, we had like
a rough
patch. Yeah. So God is good, because we made peace, and he was like, I didn't like what you did, nini, but I forgive you.
Were there feelings between you two people, like apart from just being friendship?
Yeah, there was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
So
I feel like normally it's usually the guy maybe has more feelings, especially if they're the ones who are actually
doing things, because it's very hard for a guy to show up for you if they...
Let me tell you, Madara Mwana, Bendy. Sip.
Oh my God, I will sip. If a babe doesn't like you, she will just walk up. But if a man does not like you...
Actually, I feel like it's like they're afraid to tell you it's over, so they will just push you to the wall.
They will let you decide it's
and then
over.
You'll be like, the one be like, I've had enough. When do najito ile madhara umeonesha baby girl.
Oh my God. Okay, men. Wait. Men will wake up as we 4 a.m. to embarrass you. Like I said. Like I said. So anyways, like, yeah, there were feelings and whatnot. So we had disagreement, but I thank God that I was able to fix this. Like we had a conversation and I were like, yeah, I didn't like what you did. I didn't like what you did. What. So at the time of his death, that was it. So now, sorry, 1 minute I'm minding my business. So it's like 8 a.m. You know, I woke up. I'm trying to freshen the house, like make my bed and all that to make my house cozy. And then I receive a call from a friend. And they're like, hi, D, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. What do you mean? No, are you seriously okay? Yeah.
So minding your own business. Mtoto anaendelea
kumea kwa tumbo. Me hata I'm just about to have breakfast and eat. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Kwani what's up? Hey, did you hear so-and-so Coca-Cola passed away?
Okay.
And I'm like, no, what? What do you mean? So this particular day was on a Tuesday. Me and Coca-Cola had a conversation like on Wednesday. And I was like, hi, I'd like for us to do a shoot. Like, because he was taking pictures. I'd like for us to do a shoot. So how about we do a shoot before my bump shows? And my tummy is flat. So that when my bump shows, like we can do another shoot.
Oh, yeah. Adeles are before
and after, yeah. Because I just wanted to do a shoot because I was still slaying. Like my tummy was still flat and all of that. It's intentional. It's intentional. It's the accident.
I love your makeup. I've just been...
Thank you.
Guys, let me tell you. Nimekuwa tu hapa nikimcheki. His nuts on the eyebrows are doing what they need to be doing. The contouring is contouring. The contouring.
The bronzing. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
The makeup is making.
The makeup... it's working. It's working. The blush is blushing. You know. Asidhani kuna ingine nizo tu.
Tungefanya career music.
Too bad we are not rappers, yeah. So you see, like, this is when we had the conversation and they're like, imagine so-and-so passed away. And so many things crossed my mind because I was like, what? What do you mean? What happened? Because they just received news that he passed away, but they did not know the reason he passed away. Like, akukuwa na specific cause, like he died because of maybe an accident or maybe he was unwell, nini. But I'm like, I spoke to this person a week ago and we were supposed to meet that particular day that I was given the news he had passed away. And apart from that, the previous day, I was thinking about him a lot. You know how someone crosses your mind?
Yeah.
And from then, like, it just happened to me. Like, if you cross my mind, no matter how long it has taken for us to speak, I am going to give you a call or I'm going to text you and I'll be like, are you fine? I've thought about you and I'm just checking on you. Because I'm still a little traumatized from that. Yeah. Because he kept crossing my mind. I'm like, should I reach out? I don't think it's necessary. Let me just mind my business.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me the other day, I think on Sunday, I was in a dark place and I was just like, waking up is so painful. Actually, I think I posted that and I was just like, what am I doing? You know, the way you feel like there's nothing good going on in your life and everything. Of course, other people will be just like, sis, you're living your best life.
Yeah, you're living your best life.
But I am allowed to be sad and going through things.
True. Yeah,
because out here,
people are going through it. Honestly, me, I wouldn't disagree because first of all, life is so difficult on its own and there's so many expectations. Like everyone is expecting you to be a certain way, to do certain things, to achieve certain goals, to be a certain place. Like as a person, everyone is expecting you to do things, but you know, they're just giving you unnecessary pressure.
Yeah.
Because if you can't do it, that's fine. You tried your best.
Yeah.
You know, at least we need to give ourselves grace. And I love that I give myself so much grace. And another thing is always be dependent on God. It's so off topic, but I think that's the one thing that has helped me.
That's why we are here in regards to podcast. We talk about the things people don't get to talk about. And
yeah. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's one thing that has really helped me through life. Not just as a mom, but as Diane. Because one thing I asked God when I found out that I'm having a baby, because no one was supportive. Literally, I was on my own. And even this morning, I was having that conversation with Mom, and I'm like, you know, God has really helped me because every time I need something, I have not asked anyone for nothing. Even my parents, like my mom was like, even sisi hutuitishangi. Like he shows up and he shows up and he shows up again. Because it's him that I depend. I think there's a verse that says, I don't know which one. Cursed is the man who depends on another man or something, or who looks up to another man. Like as long as I put my trust in you God. And I depend that ati wewe ndio utanisaidia ati tuseme nikupige hi aki I'm so broke nini uniambie okay nitakutumia punch Friday, so mimi nangoja hiyo Friday ifike unitumie punch. Like I'm not believing God that throughout between now and hiyo Friday nitapata job, you know, like ama nitapata 1,000 from nowhere na mtu aniambie aki I've remembered a few years back we were doing some business and I've just felt like nikubariki, you know. So, you just need to look up to him. And I feel like that's the best decision I have made in my life, because so far since that 2020 to now, anytime, even if I lost a job, in fact, people ask from me more than I ask from people.
Wow.
Yes. And I have just like nimeweka to all my hope and all my I'm just looking up to God, please, you know. And the good thing is I'm never even worried. Naweza kakua maybe niko na punch au hata tu niko na fuliza naangalia tu, but that's the least of my worries. I am healthy, I am breathing, I am, you know, like that's just something that you're like be happy about. Anyway, we're drifting away. So back to my point.
It's actually such an amazing thing to actually even just to think about, and I think I'm now thinking about it, and my mom always constantly talks about it, and anasema saa zingine mtoto yukuja na baraka yake.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it in that situation. Do you think that maybe it's the kind of covenant you made with God during that pregnancy journey when you felt alone and everything, and you were like, God, may this child come with their own blessings and we never get to lack, me and my child?
Yes. Because I would say like for a very long time, I remember I used to cry. Like for like 3 months, I used to cry every day. Cry myself to sleep. Like cry myself to sleep. Yani nalia hadi nalala. Because I'm like, what? As in, where the fuck am I at? Like, what am I even doing? No one. My parents were very clear. Us were not giving you any support. My partner, I'm not giving you any support. So I was like, you know what, God? I am not going to terminate this pregnancy. Because I know you made this possible. So you're going to make everything else possible. And I wrote down. And I was like, you know, I want to have my child at this time. And honestly, yes, I had her at that time. And I said, never in this life will I ever enter a hospital because my baby is unwell. And to date, my child has never been sick. Ati mpaka tuende hospitali, hiyo labda nijisikie kwenda hospitali because niko like, na amelemewa. Na hiyo nikienda hospitali, I'm the one guiding the doctor. Wewe, mi naona kama ametapika, so sidhani ni hiyo kifua unasema tumpime. Wacha tu tumpime tumbo. Naona hiyo imetosha juu hiyo pesa ya kifua sina. I'm not even kidding. Like I would say that recently my child was so unwell, like she would throw up in the middle of the night, she's wheezing, so I go to a hospital. And then I'm there, they're like, you know nini, sasa mi naona kama itabidi tumpime damu. And I look at that sheet, this doctor has written, sijui stuffiness, sijui nini, like all the symptoms ameandika ni respiratory. So me, I go there to the lab and then they're like, oh, I don't even remember how much they told me it is. And I'm like, unajua nini? Hatuna hiyo pesa. So I go back to the doctor and namwambia, unajua mi daktari nimeona. Muandikie tu dawa za homa. Juu hizi symptoms zote naona umeandika ni za kifua. So sioni kwa nini apimwe damu juu mi hata hiyo pesa sina. It's not like I don't have the money, but it's just that, please, whatever you're saying is so unnecessary.
Biology, unajua.
Yeah. So you see, like, we have never entered a hospital because my child is unwell. Ugonjwa anapata ni maybe homa, maybe tu ile kuhara because amekula kitu chafu. But hata ashinde kwa chafu, like, hakuna siku yenye we have ever been admitted.
Yeah, you know,
and it's not in vain.
Child and everything, and
yeah.
Like...
So I'm like, good. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you have done this for me. I'm grateful that you have done that for me. And I think that's one thing, because during that time that I was going through that, how do I say, solitude, because my parents were not there, my partner was not there, so I was going through everything alone. And I just decided to, I wouldn't say strengthen my relationship with God, because I am so sure it's not where I want it to be. But I'd say that at that time I looked up. Yes, I looked up to God, and I was like, everything I am going through and everything that from now till forever, you're going to hold me and this child's arm. And as I was telling my mom this morning, I think God loves me. But honestly, this God loves my child more. Because anytime, like naona tu niko hapo niko 200 bob, Aki, he'll just make a way. And I'm going to get that man. And I cannot even look back and say at this the time I was broke. Honestly, because he has always come back.
Have you ever been, you were thinking
I was thinking about it.
I want that kind of life. You're thinking about when the last time you've been broke. Me, I think about it. And
let me tell you, imagine, I feel like because you are taking matters into your hands. I'm not judging, but of course it's very human. Yes. Like unaona inapungua, but tunasema unajua nini? Ni wewe umeniweka hapa, and you have a reason. And you know tomorrow, you know everything. And you have the best plan for me. And you have the best, like everything. Me, I believe God. Me hata nashindanga. At some point I was asking myself, hizo Chanel bags, kwani ni nani zilitengenezwa? Si mimi. Kwani ni nani? I don't have one.
Mazovitol and everything.
Zilitengenezwa nani? Ebu just tell me zilitengenezwa nani? It's you. Ni wewe zilitengezewa. So you need to believe. You need to believe that I deserve this. You need to believe that I own this. Yeah, and motivational speaker.
Can somebody say hallelujah?
Hallelujah. Yeah.
I think vile hivi nafanya nikumbuke vile sasa zingine ningeanga kwa Instagram ama TikTok and you're like
nani yako nayo
what stay at home girlfriend spend.
You know like, why am I working?
How do people are living their best life?
You need to believe. And let me tell you another thing, you need to put your trust in God. Like you need to stop worrying. It is the hardest thing. I'm not even going to lie to you. Even me, for a very long time, I was always worried because Gozile is a guy. Okay, sawa, I'd say fuck this. But please, reality, the rent is waiting for me. Nitasema fuck it, but I need to pay my rent. I need to pay this. I need to pay that. But unaona, when you let God, because I remember even that time when I was pregnant, I didn't have a job. But ilikuwa inafika hivi sasa rent, napata wedding. Besi yangu ananiambia, kuja tuende tukafanye wedding. Nakuja, nalipa nyumba. And I'm not late. And even if I'm late, like I ask a friend, nisaidie immediately. And nikipata hivi, I refund. He will always make a way. But you just need to believe. You need to believe and you need to trust. Uache kujitafutia venye utafanya.
Okay, I think
na uache kupanic.
So true. I think that's one thing I think I need to chill and but one thing I can say about, like, I can see God complete. Of course I see God in my life in every single way, but one thing for sure is this podcast. This podcast,
let me tell you,
mkono wa bola.
Mimi nakanga hivi chini and I'm like, wait, she has posted another one.
I'm like,
and I'm honestly, like, you have been consistent.
Me, I don't know. And do you even know that there's a friend of mine who was like, babe, I've seen you how you started even identifying your name for the podcast. I've seen everything. And you know what? Because of that, I'm going to sponsor you for one episode. And I was like, okay, sis.
Imagine.
And I'm like, who is God? To see other people believing in your dream and supporting your dream and, identifying with the kind of conversations we are getting to talk about. Even for you just coming and giving amazing vibes, true story, and not fearing what other people will say, and just being real. Because one thing I love about you, you are real.
But they keep judging. I think, and I love that. Cheers.
Nakupenda by the
nakupenda pia. You forgot.
But I love you.
I love you too. This specific one, I'll give a shout out to my dad. Because, not everyone teaches you to not give a fuck. But this man taught me to not give a fuck about what anyone thinks, about what anyone... You're doing better than me. Good for you. I am not even bothered. I will do better someday. But for today, I do not give a fuck. And I think that's a very good place to be at. Because one, you will always be happy for people when they're winning. And when your time comes, you will win grand. And you will not win because you want people to see you win. You will win because it's your time to shine.
Yes.
And you will shine with grace. Because you're not looking at nani alisema.
And you'll not even be apologetic about
you will not be, and you will enjoy it because it's a very good place to be that you don't care. Imagine unatoka kwa nyumba uko na condoms na maslides and you're comfortable. You're not bothered about guys. Nani kionekana na nani uko na makofia, you're hiding.
I was even telling my mom is the one who constantly talks about it because naweza toka kwa nyumba mama unaenda hivyo ndio anasema si chukua hata kichanuo basi
mimi anakwambia
mom kuna mtu yote hapa niko na pesa yake kuna mtu yote hapa anaweza nishtua mwenye anaweza nishtua ni wewe
na ndio huyu wewe umeniona
no and like anyway naingia kwa gari nitoke nifanye chenafanya nirudi it's no big deal. And I think it gets to a point in life, I don't know if it's because of age or anything, you become so unbothered about any other person's thoughts or like
I think it's not about opinions. Age, I think it's conditioning. Tumedigress the topic at a single sentence.
Okay, tulikuwa kwa loss
and grief. Sijui saa itabidi at the end of the topic ukuje uchange na uanze kuongea about believing in yourself and looking up to God. Juu sasa sahi we are no longer talking about loss and grief. Nani tuko kwa Mungu. Any bad.
But anyway, I'm not apologetic about this
because
hey,
it's the truth.
What
what goes on in life. Yeah. So so I found out that this person has gone and I was very shocked for a minute, but at least one thing that I was okay with is that we made peace and hakuenda kama tuko na bad blood. So I was like, at least we made peace because we had a conversation. It's like, sawa, forgiven you and that's okay. I'm no longer angry and this is what's going on and what's not. Okay. So after we had that conversation, but the thing was still that, am I never ever going to see this person again? And then he was Muslim, so it was like he's being buried the same day. Actually, alizikwa the same day at 4 p.m. And I could not go for the burial because women are not allowed to go for the burial, first of all, for Muslims. And 2, I was just suffering. Like, I'm like, what?
Muslims don't...
Women don't go for the burial for Muslims. Actually, that's how I found out, like, through that. So I'm like, women are not allowed to go. I don't know. It's just a cultural thing. You don't go.
Hey.
I think you see wanaendanga mosque, they are washed, they are cleansed, and now they go and they're buried naked in like a white cloth.
Okay, that's sad. You don't get to say goodbye.
No, you can visit the grave, but you cannot be there during the burial. But so unajua wanazikwa the same. Hata wewe, by the way, saa hizo utakuwa na nguvu ya kwenda burial because ni the same day amekufa nazikwa. You don't sleep. Haulali 24 hours.
So, okay.
Yeah. So, nilikuwa zile za, wow, okay. So now he's gone. So now I start feeling bad. And I'm like, wow, this person has really gone. And I had not expected it because the same Tuesday that I was called was the same Tuesday we were supposed to meet for a shoot. And the previous day I was like, should I reach out? Should I call this person? Should I ask them if they're still okay? If we're still going to meet? Yeah, but I was not able to do that. I ignored that feeling and I went about my day. And now I think the next day, what was hurting me more was the fact that I had the chance to speak to them one last time and ask, are you okay? Is what going on? Nini. Are we still meeting tomorrow? So, ikiburia, wacha ningoje anipigie. I think it's so unnecessary.
Kwanza utaniombea kwa hiyo. Utaniombea.
I think it's so unnecessary.
Ile ati Mungu akikuumba.
Kiburi. Inamwagwa kumwagwa. So I believe how I overcame everything.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about that, but clearly you have the content.
Content eco. How I overcame everything was giving myself grace and telling myself that you know, even if things don't go right, it's not always your fault. You know, this other person also had the chance. This other person also had the chance, because if, say, me and you are in communication, kama sahi we're in communication, and we're like, we're going to meet at 2. I think both of us are entitled to have this discussion. Like, one of us is supposed to reach out to the other. Like, you know, like immediately you may feel like I need to confirm. Usianze kufikiria acha ningoja nipigia confirm. You call, confirm. Like, you're like, okay.
Doesn't make you any less of a person.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, kai ya meet up and everything, I'll do that. But then I don't want to be in a position where I feel like I'm the one who is forcing issues. You know, because I've also got to realize, especially now, because there's a friend of mine, I constantly reach out, and you know the way you feel like, Menda.
Yeah.
But you're holding on to the memories. Actually, you're holding on to the memories of this person, how it was and everything, and you're just like, babe, urafiki yako kiliendanga. Na, sha accept, ni wewe sasa itabidi catch up.
What I can say about that is, I feel like after everything happened and after I found out and I blamed myself. Okay, I don't know why I blamed myself, but I think it's very natural of a human to feel like it was so short notice to lose someone, especially if they were not unwell, if they were not like on the verge, like on their deathbed, like maybe an accident happened and you were so sure that they might go or they might make it, you know? Yeah. So if it's just an accident that, oh my God, I never saw it coming and they are gone, I think that affects us as humans, and you really question your relationship with this person. Yeah. So you're like, was I really okay? Did we end terms on the right way? You know, and it takes too long to like make peace. But I feel like the one thing that made me relax and accept the situation was me telling myself that no matter what I do, this person is never ever coming back. So acceptance.
Yeah.
Acceptance is the one thing that can at least relieve you of that guilt and like give you hope for life, you know? At least make you accept that, okay, fine, it happened and there's nothing you can do. You cannot like replace this person. They're gone. They're just gone and they're gone and they're already buried, because like I told you, he's Muslim. So there's no way that you can even get to meet them. If anything, maybe just visit their grave, which I've never even had the courage to go see. You know? So I think me accepting that it's not my fault, and no matter what happened, it had to happen. It had to happen because life is unpredictable and you cannot really say what I will. Even the next minute, like at a saizi, we don't know what will happen in the next minute.
I feel like that's one thing I'm not okay about, but I can't do anything about it.
You can't do anything about it. I think that's the beauty and the wholeness of life. It is uncertain. Imagine it's uncertain. It's the good thing, because you're not sure if you'll make it or you will not. But the good thing is, at this very moment, you are doing your best.
Yeah, I think that's how I think maybe that's how many people should use.
Yeah.
In regards to living life, so that every day you're doing your best. You're making the best of friends. You're making the best in regards to money.
Yeah.
You're living your best life. You're traveling and everything.
Yeah.
But then it actually, when you were saying all this, it reminded me of my uncle who passed away very suddenly, and he was like the father figure for a lot of us in our family, because in our family there are not so many male figures that you get to feel like they can be your mentors, or they will stand in regards to being your dad or anything of the kind. And when I heard about the loss, I was just like, no,
it can't happen.
It can't. This person alijipeleka hospitali. Like, you know, that you're not feeling well and you take yourself and then you're like, okay, it's going to be just a small process and then atoke. And you discover that this person hakutoka. Alitoka kama amekufa. You know, like it was such a short period and such a minor surgery like that was required. And then, you know, and it makes you think on so many levels in life, and you're like, God, what about me? That have I left everything in order? Does my mom know that I love her? Does my brother know that I love him?
Exactly.
Does this friend, will they ever get to be like, were they unsure of where they were in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to experience that. Like, people are left like unsure.
Yeah.
And you know, that also it also makes me think this as a name will jam. And I'm like, I'm never going to talk to this person and everything. And you know.
Yeah.
And then and then they'll be like, oh fuck.
Yeah. You know, actually you're the
have...
one who will feel like you'll feel the most pain. That's, to be honest. Because now, one thing about me, like from then, I decided to show people that I love them and love them openly and love them dearly. So one thing about me, if I love you, I am going to show you. I am going to gift you, because one thing about me, I am a gifter. I am going to gift you. I'm going to be there for you. When you ask me to show up for you, I might not be at my best. I might have really struggled to get out of bed, but I will show up for you. I will confirm to you that I love you and that I am always there. Yeah, you know, like I am going to do my best. Sometimes not financially, because, you know, we're not financially where we want to be.
Yeah.
You know, yes, you can afford for yourself, and maybe you cannot afford for someone else. You know, I can say that I have never been broke, but I have never been broke because anything that I need, I am able to get. But maybe I don't have enough to share or to give to somebody else, you know.
That's true.
Yeah. So I started to feel like I need to, like, be there for some people more, especially when I hold you dear. You ask me to show up for you. Showing up is free. You know, I don't need anything. I just need to come through.
That's true.
And that's the least you can do for anyone, you know. Aside from that, even your family, people, like, I make sure, even if we have friction, like with my mom at maybe say 5:45, why am I giving a very exact number? Weird. At 6 p.m., we're back together. I'm like, Mommy, okay, Sawa, what do you need? I'm sorry, that happened. I was in my feelings. I was mad.
Yeah.
Can we just have a fresh conversation right now, you know? Maybe say with a friend and we have friction, because it's very natural for humans to disagree.
Yeah.
So if we disagree, maybe the next minute I'll come, we have a conversation and we sort what differences we had, you know. So I try as much as possible to be in good terms. And every time I go to bed, I am not angry at anyone.
Yeah.
Not even myself. And I think forgiveness starts with forgiving yourself. You know, there's so many mistakes that you've done in the past. Unaangalia uko like, if I did it different, I'd be better. Ama if I did it different, ningekuwa hapa. Ama if I did it different, maybe I'd have different people in my lives. I'd be fine life. You know. But once you forgive yourself and you're like, you know what? I am allowed to make mistakes. I'm human. I can fuck up and it's okay. So if this happens, that's fine. Hakuna jani kasirike. I need to give myself grace. I am not God. I am human and I can make mistakes, and that's fine because everybody does, you know.
Yeah.
And you can't go back to fix the past. The best you can do is forgive yourself and do better next time.
Sis.
Yeah.
Unasema tu, all that people don't get to talk about and what people don't get to hear.
Yeah.
I feel like you just summarized it all. Especially the part of forgiving yourself. Yeah. And getting to realize that you're growing, you're evolving. You know, there's so much to, you know. Hey, but life is too short, man.
Life is short. Really, life is very, very short. Even for us. Like, hata naweza kuwa nasema, maybe huyo mtu mwingine atapasa away. But labda ni mimi. God forbid, because please, sijaenda dinner in the sky. You know, sijakalia hizo vitu nikika seatbelt. Nikakula in Dubai.
Yeah.
I tell everybody that. Ati nakufa kesho, samahani. Me, I have not gone for dinner in the sky. Until I go there, now no, I'm ready to be with the Lord. But for now,
I actually want to do the hot air balloon. That's something I really, really want. And I think I want it more for my mom compared to me. And I'm just like,
then go for it.
Yeah.
Go for
it's
it.
Millions. It's millions, babe.
You will afford it. Let me tell you.
My lifestyle is too expensive.
Postponing, even me, like I can barely afford myself. Like hata nakanga hivi chini najiambia we.
But anyway, we are manifesting good things. You know what? I got it. Great things are happening in my life. And you know, by the way, your Chanel.
Imetengezewa nani? No, if God made it possible, it's pricey for nothing. There's a cheaper version with the same quality. But please, see, kuna logo ya Chanel, hizo simbili zinaangalia. Yeah, exactly. You deserve every good thing. I tell myself this every day.
Actually, you were telling me that, and I need to realize that.
You need to realize that. I was telling myself, and I tell this to myself, nikikaa chini, nifikirie, ni imagine, nimeingia kwa private jet. As in, mbona Mungu akubali hiyo thought ikuja kwa akili yangu if it cannot manifest?
Wapi shangwe na vigelegele? Wapi shangwe na vigelegele? It's the private jet.
It's the private jet.
Hi.
You know, like private, hata hakuna time. Ukijisikia utafly saa 9. Correct.
It's the champagne.
It's the champagne. It's the caviar. You know.
Babe.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
As long as you can think about it, like inasemanga,
work towards it.
God cannot put a dream if he cannot actualize it. Like as long as unai desire. Mbona aliweka hiyo desire kwa roho yako basi if it cannot come to pass?
Yeah.
If you want it, you will get everything that you want. Everything that you desire. Because why would it suddenly just pop up in your head if it cannot happen?
So true. I was actually listening to a podcast by Adeles Mantra, and she was being interviewed, and she was saying that what's her... It's like, is it a slogan or like what she goes by?
Her mantra, yeah.
Yeah, her mantra, actually, that's the word. And she was saying that what is for me is for me. And what is, yani, I should be able to see it. You know, like, Mungu nioneshe, you know, it doesn't get to pass me by. So that God, I'm able to identify it. Like, speak to me so that I can see this is for me.
Yeah.
And it's not, yani, so that it doesn't pass me by. And what is not for me, let me accept it so that I don't feel like I am missing out in regards to anything.
Issues,
yeah. And I think with that, we can get to the end of our topic in regards to the topic of the day.
Of life.
The wholeness of life. I think we have talked about so many things. Because anyway, life has so many things.
Yeah.
All in general. We were hoping to talk about loss, but I feel like people have been able to understand what exactly we were hoping to talk about and dwell on.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can exhaust in regards to loss or life itself. We can only just talk a little bit about the small things that we have been able to experience so that people can relate to them.
Yeah.
And, you know, understand where we are coming from and where we hope that our listeners can understand. So in regards to that, thank you everyone for listening to episode number 5 in regards to the wholeness of life. So get to
like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend to tell another friend. That is
other friends.
Yeah, Whisper It Loud podcast.
Yeah, and you can find us on IG, TikTok, Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes. All our platforms are available on Whisper It Loud podcast. Yeah. And thank you so much for our sponsor. As I said, for this episode is one of my good friends who has sponsored this episode. Her name is Cecilia, and thank you so much, babe. Nakupenda. Let's continue subscribing and sponsoring and listening and sharing and everything. Cheers. You're listening to the Whisper It Loud podcast.